It gives me great pleasure to introduce our honorary degree recipient, James Waterhouse, to whom we award an honorary fellowship. James Waterhouse is a journalist for the BBC, as well as their Ukraine correspondent, appointed to the role after his acclaimed reporting as Kyiv correspondent from the start of the year. His accessible style has resonated with millions as he reported on the geopolitics of the conflict from the front lines and from communities as they try to recover from unimaginable horrors. James is also a regular on the award-winning podcast Ukrainecast on BBC Sounds and occasionally presents on the World Service. Before Ukraine, before even becoming a journalist, James's beginning started with rugby, aiming to play for England before he found his passion for journalism. On finding it as a career, James says, and I quote, "Journalism is a destination which is gradually found. It is a development of one's curiosity with the realization a conventional job might not be for you," end of quote. Though today his focus and effort still very much remains on Ukraine, James's career has seen him cover poaching in Malawi, the refugee crisis on the Syrian border, as well as NATO's failed attempts to deter Russian aggression in the Arctic Circle. James has also covered 3 general elections, 2 referendums, and countless local elections. Being honored by UAL today, according to James, feels like coming home. Reminiscing on his academic journey, James said, and I quote, "Before joining UAL in 2011, I had felt academically homeless. I had no idea what my strengths were. And I remember being gravitated towards the course which ended up propelling me into a career I love. I'm delighted to ask the Chancellor to confer the Honorary Fellowship of University of the Arts London on James Waterhouse."
Wow, just trying to drink this in. It's an incredible honor to be here. I want to start with a massive thank you to UAL. To be recognized in this way by a place which has given me so much is an incredible privilege. It's also an honor to be able to talk to all of you on your momentous day. Now, James and Grayson have alluded to it. You don't need me to tell you that your graduation is the end of your creative journey. It isn't. This isn't the brow of the hill. What today is, to me, is a recognition of all of your talents. Not everyone can do what you just have. You will have also hopefully acquired some or all of the key skills needed to continue your voyage, if that's indeed what you want to do. You also don't need me to tell you that you are entering into a working world which is far from friendly. The temptation when economic times are tough is to neglect the arts. Yet, in periods like this, fields like journalism, publishing, or photography have never been more important. It is my absolute belief that creative, inquisitive minds like yours are the keys to a more fulfilling, fairer, and more democratic society. Whether it's a piece of writing which inspires or a film which provokes, these are ideas and creation that come from minds like yours. You know the boundaries to push and which rules to break. And that gives you the apparatus to change society for the better. During my career, I've met those with traditional degrees from pretty intimidating institutions. I've occasionally been led to believe they're better qualified than me and that I don't belong. You may feel that on your journey. And if you do, remember, those are false. That idea is false. You are more valuable than you and they will realize. I've just read a book called What I Talk About When I Talk About Running by Haruki Murakami, an accomplished novelist who's also a serious jogger. Now, he describes talent as an underground well. Some of us have more talent than others. Some have endless reserves. Some, like me, don't. He believes most of us have to keep digging to sustain that talent. And for Haruki Murakami, that meant working on his endurance and focus for him not to just be a good writer, but a successful one. What he also found while digging were other wells, talents he didn't know he had. I gave a talk at my old school a few years ago, and I stood on stage and said, pursue your dream, but have a plan B. I'd like to take this opportunity to scrap that piece of advice. With the gaining of experience and the passing of time, it seems to me that plan B will soon get boring, no matter how much you get paid. The writer Mark Twain said, find a job you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. That's kind of it, but I'm sorry to break it to you, you are going to have to graft a little bit. But, you know, my team and I will sometimes go for days, even weeks, without stopping, in pretty challenging, sometimes hostile environments. Why? Because we believe in what we're doing, and we know why we're there. What you love doing can also change. As you heard, when I was 19, so not long ago, all I wanted to do was play rugby. I was pretty good at it, and it made me happy. After 5 years, I'd exhausted my talent, my well, and realized I wasn't willing to make the sacrifices needed to play at the very top, and that's fine. I had a good time and made plenty of good friends. That endeavor still gave me a 5-year career. After trying several jobs, I find myself at the London College of Communication in 2011. I discovered a new passion in journalism. That same passion would take me to the biggest story on the planet 11 years later, when Russia invaded Ukraine. I've done a lot of digging in the time since. Found the odd surprise too. All with a spade I gained from here. So my message to you is grab yours, use it. If you're lucky, like me, you might get to witness history one day. And if you're really lucky, you might get to create it yourself. Good luck, and thank you.